What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Burndown YouTube channel. We are back on the boom, messing with this thing a bit. I've got a short list of things that I need to accomplish before we can start doing license passes, which is one of the things we're going to need to continue to go faster. So we can work on 60-foot hits and short track and all that fun stuff, but at a certain point, we're going to want to run it out, and I'm going to need a cage cert, a license, and a couple more safety items for that. So we're kind of working on that, but I also have some things to address that don't really cost too much money that we need to take care of. So I was crawling around underneath this thing, and it looks like the front ball joints that came with my tubular control arms, which I bought before we went to race week last year. They're the Chinese cheap ones or whatever. The boots are all roached out. So the ball joints are still in there. They're not loose or anything, but it's a concern that that's all roached out. The speeds we're going, I'd like my tires to stay on and stay straight. So I went and I got some Napa brand. I looked for Moog, but they didn't have it. So we got the Napa brand ones. They seem decent, but at least they're new. So we're gonna throw those on today. And then the other thing we're gonna look at is I need a catch tray. I do have an engine diaper, but I don't wanna wrap it up and have more heat. I'm so sick of heating issues chasing with that thing that I have a transmission blanket, which is a necessity because I don't have the expensive case. But you can do a pan in lieu of wrapping your engine with a diaper. So we're gonna look, I'm gonna do ball joints, and then we'll be under there and we'll kind of look and see what we can do for like a tray. The other problem I have too is we have to look and see what the rules say about it, but I don't have a lot of clearance. We run this guy pretty low, so I don't have a lot of room. I mean, I guess this hangs down further than that, so even if my pan little guy hung down at least as low as this or whatever. But yeah, we're riding pretty low. I guess I could lift the front up a bit. I like how it looks, but you got to get over bumps, right? And then you want to smack stuff on everything. So let's jack it up, pull the wheels off. I'll show you guys the ball joints that are roached. We can change those. Hopefully they don't fight me and they don't take too long. And then the fab portion of it, we're gonna think on the fly. So I may or may not accomplish that today. I have pretty much the day to do it. I don't really want to spill a video into 2 days on the same thing. So we'll just see how far we get with it. If we don't accomplish it today, we'll wrap it up and show you guys what I ended up coming up with. So, I also gotta see if I have material. I've got sheet steel. I don't think I have aluminum. And then I have to see what the thickness is for the rules and all that stuff to make sure I have the right stuff to make that. But let's do ball joints and then we'll move on. Here are the two suspects, right? So this is the one I took off the car, and this is the one that's going on. So this is a Napa, and this is China. They're both Chinese, so it looks like, you know, flange height is similar. This looks a little thicker possibly. This is a one-piece deal, and then this is, maybe that's one piece too, or stamped, whatever, I don't know. And then that one, you know, you can see how they look. So yeah, this is what it is. It's funny. Oh, and then this one comes with this little bag of goodies to install it. So similar stuff, same thing. Just this guy let go, so I didn't feel comfortable driving around, because you're gonna collect a bunch of crap in there, and then when it moves around, you're just gonna wear it out quick, or you have the possibility to, you know, have a real problem. So that's it. We'll swap them out. We'll see how this works. The new dude is in. Looks like a bit better piece. I like the hardware better too. It has a fatter head on it. Granted, this is kind of just to hold the dust cover for the most part, but and they have this little trick clip thing that we used on here. So this is in. We'll wrap the other side, and then we will start kind of eyeballing what we can do for a pan underneath. So we finished up the ball joints, and then I wanted to see exactly how I need to construct a pan, material thickness, and all that. Well, in reading the rules, it tells me that they understand there's so many different cars and variations of engine combinations and how people throw things together. It's kind of vague. I mean, it's specific, but it's still vague enough to where it's like open to interpretation. So here are the major points to take away that we'll have to follow, and then pretty much the tech guys can go, yeah, I don't like that, you need to do X, Y, or Z to it. But I feel if you do a good job on it, they're probably not gonna bust your balls too bad because you're trying to be safe versus not trying at all. So it says, where is it? Lower engine containment device. So you can use the diaper style, and it specifies all that. Or right here it says you could use a belly pan, which is what I'm interested in constructing. And it says it's got to go frame rail to frame rail to the forward of the harmonic balancer, so just past the harmonic balancer, and then to the rear of the engine block. And then you need 2-inch walls on all sides, which is kind of funny. So if you're at the back of the block, I guess we'll have to crawl underneath there, but that would be the end of the oil pan, and then you could just fold up. Because what I'm envisioning is things basically going to sit against the oil pan, because that's obviously as low as I want it. I don't want an extra 2 inches hanging down underneath everything else under the car. So that's pretty much it. And then you can have minimum number of slots and holes for steering and all that stuff to clear, so you can actually put those things in there, which makes it feasible, because I was thinking like a square tray that has to hang below all that stuff, and I'm like, man, this is how we're gonna do that. And then you need an oil absorbent material. So essentially it's a metal diaper that has oil absorbent material, and you make it fit, and you need 2-inch sides all the way around. So let me crawl underneath there and start eyeballing it with a tape measure, and then if I kind of get a plan together, I got a little bit of poster board, but I think I might have to go either buy more or steal some from my son. But he might get mad because he likes to make those stop motion videos now, so he uses a poster board to make tracks. So we'll either have to borrow that from him or get more. But let me just get a tape measure and eyeball it and start racking my brain. I'll bring you guys back if I think that we can even accomplish making some sort of pan for this. I'm not going to get into complete fabrication on this thing because I think the video would get really long and I would do a lot of thinking out loud. But I figured I would show you guys at least this part, and then kind of how we go from this to what I kind of end up with. So what I did is I got the dimensions of the frame, and then from in front of the balancer to behind the oil pan, and I basically just made a square. These are my 2-inch little chingaderas here for to catch the junk and crud and all the things that fall out of the engine. Hopefully never. But so yeah, I just made a square, and then I'm gonna figure out how to fasten it up there, and then I can draw on this because it's cardboard, and kind of make room for control arms and for everything else, and kind of see how we go, because the rules stated that you could do, it's minimal cutting, but obviously if you got a control arm, you got to make space for it, right? Or hoses or anything that's important. So that's how I kind of got it in the ballpark. And then what I'll do is I'll take this thing, like I said, and I'm gonna try to figure out how to fasten it up, maybe tape it or figure it out, and then figure out if we need to put bends in it, where we need to relief cut it, and then I'll mess with this, and we'll get this to something we really like. And then we're gonna make this out of steel because I don't have aluminum. And they didn't specify if it was steel or aluminum, but I would figure, you know, some sheet steel will work just fine. I've got a ton of that laying around. So let me keep rolling and I'll show you what we kind of end up with. But I figured, for those of you that don't do a lot of fab work, when you land there and you're like, what the hell am I supposed to do? This is an easy way to get started. You just make a square, because now you have a physical object, and now you can kind of put it up and see what the obstructions and things are. So I'll keep rolling. I got carried away showing the Twinnebago off, and then the engine. I had a buddy stop by with a K5, so chewing up a bit a day, but it's Saturday, and you're supposed to enjoy your day. I'm not hustling or trying to do crazy stuff. I don't have events. If this doesn't get done today, it doesn't get done, but I think we should be able to get pretty close and get something. I'd like to bend a pan up. I think, hopefully. After a bunch of origami, this is the best thing that I could come up with. And then I left these little windows. This is where the control arms are. So I'll have to put a piece. I should be able to actually fit a full 2-inch section there. But I couldn't figure out how to do it all in one shot, because I was like, you know what, screw it. We'll just do this. And then I can just make the little pieces that go in there. And then this is actually the front section. We'll have to cut some U's a little bit for the steering, but NHRA says that's okay. So this is my origami piece that we're gonna make. That'll be the pan that goes under there, tentatively. And then we got a little sheet steel out. I marked off the section I'm gonna cut out. And then we will keep rolling. So yeah, the old origami. I messed with it a bunch. I was like folding it all up. So I put that underneath the car. Looks like it should do what it is supposed to do. And then what we'll do when we make the real deal, it'll be nice and rigid, so then we'll fit it and see if we got to bend it or move it or manipulate it. And then I can just sandwich that thing with the jack against like the oil pan, and then we'll just find mounting points. I can put little holes and straps in it. We'll figure out how to mount it. So I'm not terribly worried about the mounting portion. I can just cut strips of sheet steel, you know, if I need to or whatever. Or I got something that's a little more rigid over there. I don't know, you know, as far as movement and all that. And then that thing's backed by the flywheel, so this thing kind of has to stay in place, I would imagine. So we'll do that. Maybe we can hook it to the, it says it needs to go frame rail to frame rail, so I don't think I can hook it to the motor, so we'll have to hook it to the car. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be tight back there by that flywheel, but we'll get it handled. So let me mess with it, and I'll show you what it looks like in steel if we can get that far. Some of you might be interested to see the origami pattern I made to make that shape. So this is it flattened out. You can see the fold marks, and then got a piece of sheet steel. We'll transfer the pattern, and then I'll draw additional marks where to make my cuts, and then we will cut this thing out, and then hopefully fold it up like you see here. Unfortunately, I don't have a finger brake, so we are just going to maybe I'll just kind of score it a little bit and then beat it, or we'll just grab pliers or something and fold it up. But we'll get it done. It doesn't need to be pretty. It's going under a race car, right? I'm working on forming this, and I figured I'd show you guys because I know that I'd probably get this question asked. I don't have a finger brake, right? So the fastest, easiest way to do this and make it decent without it looking like a turd is I just scored this a little bit. So you got to be good with your grinder, because I just freehanded these little score lines, bap, bap, and then I'll show you. We'll beat this one, and then you guys will get an idea, but I'm not gonna show you on all of them. I'm gonna set you back here, because that thing will go flying off here. So essentially, get the edge of the table, got a hammer and dolly. This has a flat edge on it, so I'm gonna use that edge. I'm gonna put this down and then use this flat edge on that score mark, and then whack it with this dude, and we should have a straight little bend. So all right, and then I like to start at the ends. So you start here, do a little whack, another whack, and then work your way back the other way, and then back again. You don't really want to go hammer on dolly. If you hear it pinging, you need to back off a little bit. It's just to help guide it. The score mark should do most of the work for you. So, bada boom, bada bing. There you go. It's not wiggly and waving. We're gonna have a nice, you know, clean edge on it. It's not perfect because it's not in a brake, but it's best you're gonna get by hand. Unless you got a better way, you guys let me know. Let me finish the rest of these up, and then I still gotta score this dude. We'll fold it over. I think I might put tacks on all these corners to make it nice and rigid. We'll see if we can fit it up and see how we did. We got it mocked up, got it stuffed underneath, and wouldn't you know, it fits just like the cardboard template. So here is a look at this thing. And this goes all the way up, right? So we fit in there. We've got room for the control arms. We're still meeting the 2-inch height requirement, and then I will fill that gap in, and then it goes around the back of the, might as well show you boys. I'm already here. You already put this far, Dane. So it goes around the back of here, and we'll just flush mount it like that. So like I said, it's close to here, and it kind of rubs on that guy, but we'll have to, you know, secure it somehow so it doesn't move. I mean, the engine's gonna move, stuff's gonna move, but I may cut out, I think, a little bit for this guy, just in case, you know. So let me know what you guys think on that. I don't know, this is my first little pan deal that I built, so, but I think it's legal. And again, I think a lot of this stuff is up to interpretation. So I think if they see a guy trying, looks like you put some effort into it, I mean, I guess they can say whatever they want, right? Because that's what happens when you're racing NHRA. But we're past the balancer, past the back of the motor, and then I think what we will do in order to mount this guy, I'm gonna come up with a solution that goes to here, so up here somehow, so it'll fill this area in, right? So this thing's not just scooping up all the air and it wants to rip it out and hit the track or whatever. So we will reimagine that part, and then we got a nice flat underbelly on this guy, and then it cuts in. So I don't know, not too bad for a first go around, right? And not really having all the tools. I mean, I do have a stomp shear, so I can't complain. And then I just hand sheared, you know, the big guy over there and made a big mess. And then everything you see, all the shape, was all cut with that. So if you are using a 4-inch grinder, please wear safety. I know some of you guys wear glasses and you think that counts. That shit doesn't count, because it can bounce off the inside of your glasses and hit you in the eyeball. And that actually has happened to me. I've been to the ER, I think 2 or 3 times with metal stuck in my eye. Not fun. And if you do get hit in the eye, go right away. It's easier to get out, and they don't have to dig it and scrape it. And if you wait and you think you're a tough guy, you're not making your life any easier. Ask me how I know. So that is it. Safety tips, soapboxing all day. You guys, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, share. I'm gonna clean up and we'll get this thing wrapped. I'll show you guys on the next episode. I'm out.